spark is enough to reignite a revolution. The Bone Shaker, our train, travels the rail connecting our two worlds. The last surviving remains of the pyre drives the heart of our engine. The gilded wing will stop at nothing to destroy it. But the champions of hell will defend what's ours. Because if we don't, there will be nothing left to defend.
Hello everybody, it's Scything here. It has been almost 3 years since I have tried to record or produce anything to put online. I've stopped streaming and everything because I've just been dealing with life. However, I have been enjoying this game so much. It is one of my favorite, most released games this year by far. And it's a truly great advancement, I think, in terms of a deck builder. And I'm really having a great time, and I wanted to show it off. So I know there's tons of other videos, but I wanted to make one to go over some of why I think this sets apart. One, I love that on release, and I'll show you this really quick here. On release, it came out with, and I don't think it's really, I think this is still technically in early access. I'll have to check on that, but as of right now, we currently have a completed 5 factions in the game with combo. And the interesting, instead of just running one faction and you play that one type of deck, it gets way more complicated in this game because you're running a combo. You have your primary faction that starts with the champion, and then you have a secondary faction, and that secondary faction, the combo you choose changes the entire way the run's going to go. So I really enjoy that compared to like Slay the Spire, which is my favorite game from when it launched. It was very much, when you picked the person, you knew what the road you were going down. I feel like in Monster Train, you end up with a lot of different options based on who your ally is versus your primary. That adds a lot of extra stuff to it, which is really fun. The feature that I love the most about this is I like the daily challenges under multiplayer. The things I think that they do right with this version is, one, you can see the type of score you're looking for and how many people have tried and what's possible, but you can't actually see how they did it, right? And when you finish the game, you can click on one of these and see what the top run is and how they did it, which is very fascinating to know kind of like what it is, how they achieve that score after the fact is really cool, because to me as a player, it's the fastest way I can look at it after the fact to learn what they did, so I can look for those combos and those strategies so I can improve the next day, versus trying for a high score, doing everything you think you did that was correct, getting a good score, and then still not being anywhere near the top or anywhere near halfway on the chart, and then not knowing why. So you kind of get defeated and you walk away. That's what happened to me in Slay the Spire a lot of times, is I would be able to beat the daily challenge and get to the end, but I would always be so far down the list that I didn't feel like I had really achieved anything, and there was no way in Slay the Spire for me to grow. Every run was kind of its own little thing. You either knew everything you needed to know on how to beat it, or you didn't. Whereas in Monster Train, at the end of the run, I can look at other runs and then learn without having to go read 1,000 guides, 1,000 YouTube videos. I can learn from the game itself, and I feel like that's really smart to have that in your system. What I'm going to do is to show off the game but also have fun is I'm going to play today's challenge. This is 6-8 when I recorded this, and we're going to go through it, play it, see how I do. You can see I don't have a score for the day, that's why I can't see any of these. So this will be my first run taking a look at it. Our primary clan is going to be the Umbras with an ally clan of Hellhorn, and it looks like we have 2 for 1. So each time you draft a card, we're going to get a second copy of it. So every time we beat a floor, you get a bunch of extra cards. Every time we get a card, we're going to get 2 instead of 1. Musical chairs is weird because what it does is it keeps shuffling your units around, which is difficult if the Umbras are the ones that I'm thinking they are, where they're gougers, they eat their own little guys, but only the first unit can eat them, and that's going to be really difficult if they're constantly being rotated. And then hollow, friendly units enter with Heartless, which means you can't heal. Now that means a lot, right? If you can't heal, you can't use lifesteal, you can't use regen. So it limits a lot of how you're going to keep your units alive, or it leaves you to the road where you expect for them to die and then plan how you're going to make it without them. So let's get into it. Let's see how we do. Again, win or lose, I'm going to upload this as I did on my first run. I will look at other people's run at the end just to kind of see what people did. But I won't be posting it until after the day is over, so I'm not trying to give anyone an unfair advantage, just trying to have a good time. Oh wait, is this the run? So maybe this is the run that I had started, but I didn't do well? Why am I on floor 4 of the daily challenge? Alright. Apparently I may have done this morning before I went to bed. I apologize for that. So it's not going to be as fresh of a run as I'd like, and my score is not going to show up on the board. That's fine. We're going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and start it fresh anyway, because I don't remember playing it this morning, but apparently I did. So that'll be my score for today. That's fine. We're still going to go in as a fresh before I look at anything. And then we'll look at that score, compare it to the chart, and then we'll take a look and see what the top person did then. So these are our starting cards. We get 2 Umbra Assaults. They deal 3 damage. If they kill a target, that's what Slay does. I get 2 additional rare morsels. Again, morsels are the things that my units can eat to give them buffs. We have Piercing, which means that they have armor. This goes through the armor. And we have a Feast. Feast is a way you can force the gouge early, which is something I think I have to use more efficiently for this route. And then let's see which champion gets. So our champion choices are these. So these are our 2 choices. So at the beginning of every game, you could choose one of 2 paths to take your hero. So in this one, I can make him start stronger with 25 attack and the same health. And whatever floor he goes on, I get 2 yellow blips. The yellow blips are how many units you can place on a floor. Every unit has a cost. So like my champion here, he takes 3 blips off of the floor by himself. There's also a limitation of how many units you can place on a floor. You can only place 7 units on a floor at a time. I believe I'm going to try going the extra 2 blips just because it gives me more options. Also, I like the extra attack. The gouge, again, if it wasn't for the shuffle effect, I think the gouge would be interesting. Also, but because there's shuffling and because the lifesteal does nothing, I'm going to try going Architect. And then here we have Railhammer. Every time you gain 4 stacks of armor, every time it's applied, so it's an extra 4 armor every time you do an armor effect, or applies daze to enemies when they hit your pyre room, but your pyre gets -5 attack. This basically gives you 1 free slot if you make mistakes. Any damage your pyre takes lowers your score dramatically. I thought the armor method would be really cool for keeping units alive. I want to try the funnel, again, because even though getting the armor because you can't heal sounds really good, if I can stop units from hitting my pyre, which is our shard, which has 80 health, if I can stop units from hitting the pyre, then I get a higher score. Every damage your pyre takes score away. So pretty much in the daily challenges, there probably are some runs where you can skip 1 or 2 of the bonuses, but I'm pretty sure that you kind of want to run with it on all the time. I got to figure out how to hide those notifications, which I will do after today's run. So I apologize if my friends got to get blasted from being seen, but I will fix that for tomorrow. Alright, so we have our hero, we have a regular trained steward, and we have 2 breaks. So we're going to drop our hero. We're going to break this guy. We're going to break this guy. I don't really want to take 18 damage, so I may just chunk one of those damages from there. That way we took 11. Not perfect, not the greatest starting hand, but we can make it work. So here I can blow him up. Again, so he only appears the 2nd turn of every stage, and he has bonus gold. If you can kill him, you really want that bonus gold because 1, it's going to help you upgrade your units and your spells the way you need to. 2, at the end of the game, there's a bonus for how much gold you have left over. So in both scenarios, you want that. So once again, we've got a lot of units coming into play. We can either steward, but the steward would just die, so I'd rather just nuke one out now. My dude's gonna die if I put this here. He still is going to die even before he swings. I can't really do anything there. So we're going to drop this guy up here because we're hoping we're going to put something in front of it for next turn. Unfortunately, we lost our champion. I couldn't really do anything about that, but that's okay. We're going to go in and start sitting at the top row this turn. And we're going to drop one of these guys now, which will give me 2 more morsels, which we're going to pre-set up on the bottom floor and hope we draw another steward or another unit. Assuming I still have a steward in the... What I haven't really learned well is the stewards, when a creature dies, they get consumed, so they don't come back. So like, I only have 1 extra creature in the deck right now, so I've got to be careful how I use it. So he dies, he doesn't, so we're going to go ahead and nuke the one that doesn't die. Then we're going to drop one of the ones down here. And then we're going to choose... So all the ones that do damage is what we're going to throw up down here. Drop that, so he'll take 32 damage before he gets through all my little guys. Again, not the ideal strategy, but it works for what we're doing right now, so we're not going to complain. The faster you kill the hero, the less floors he makes it through, the higher your score goes, so you really don't want to let him get too high. But yeah. So unfortunately, we don't have a lot here. We will have an extra energy for next turn. We can deal 10 damage. We can go ahead and do this now, and that'll give us an extra 2 damage. Not a great turn. So we're going to drop this in front just to buy an extra turn. And that's the best we do. So unfortunately, we are going to take a bunch of pillar damage. There's probably a better way this first turn could have gone, but it didn't go great, but that's okay. We're still alive, got 68 health. So you see, because we took 12 damage to our tower, we lost 24% of our total score for that round, which is not what we want. We want to get a bonus to score. We don't want to lose score. So lifesteal, again, lifesteal doesn't do anything. We have 2 of these in the deck already. These, again, because it's a free card that I can choose to play when I want to get more morsels, I feel like that's a good idea. So here we have more pierces, or we have fortifies to keep our units alive. Fortifies being a 0 cost spell doesn't make me have to have a cost to play him. But again, at 5 armor per card draw, does that give me... It doesn't really give me damage. It's kind of just for survival. There's also the option where we can skip and get a little bit of extra gold. Again, 10 gold's not a lot. I'm going to try the fortify because the armor should help some. Again, lifesteal's useless, so we can't use it. So that guy's a dead unit. This guy would be a decent one in the backfield to spread rage to the friendly units, but we need a tank in the front. Gaining damage shield does work and would be a good tank in the front if I can keep him being fed. But again, here's the problem. Because the floors keep shuffling, doing that's not as easy as it sounds. I'm going to try the Rage, the Branded Warrior, and see if it works. I don't know if it's going to work out for me. Again, that may have been a skip where I shouldn't have taken anything, but we're going to try it that way and see what it does. So if I go this side, so after every fight that you win, you have to choose a path, and each path has different options. If I go this way, I can get gold, and I can upgrade spells within my deck out a little bit. If I go this way, I get an extra unit, and I can upgrade my units. I'm going to go the unit path and see if I can't get something useful. Again, lifesteal is dead. The Morsel Master, when you summon a morsel on this floor, again, make a copy of it. I've never been able to use them. I don't think I've ever given these guys a chance. There's another version of this unit in this faction that is only a 2-blip for the same 1 cost to cast out, and it spawns 2 morsels on its own every turn. Whereas this one only really works if you're summoning morsels on the floor. So I don't know if I really like that one, but we're gonna see. So we're gonna give one of our branded warriors quick as a way of hopefully boosting some rage before the rest of the team attacks. And we're gonna give that quick one some health so it'll survive a little longer. And then adding 10 attack to something. I'm going to put 10 attack on the other one again with the idea that I'll give him health eventually. Hopefully that'll help him get a slay, which will help him boost the rage of the row, giving us more damage. And we'll see how that works out for us. So this one, it looks like we're giving everyone 10 armor. We have the Pierce spell, which will help with some of that. Oh, we have 25 and 20. So we're going to go ahead and drop our big guy here. We're only taking 3 damage back, so that's a good turn for that. We're going to put our Slay guy down. And we're going to go ahead and get some morsels going for these guys. And we're going to preset this one up here to this guy. This doesn't hurt to cast, so we'll go ahead and throw it on this guy. So as you can see, the little guy got eaten by him and gave its buff to him. In this case, my main hero ate both of his copies. Again, life still doesn't matter, but it is to attack, so we'll throw that there. That row is now full. We'll give this row 2 morsels. We're going to go ahead and get rid of that now so it's out of the way. And we're going to set up the top row with this morsel. So if there's nothing that can eat the gouge target, it'll still just stay there. So that one at the top will be ready, waiting for another unit that can eat it. So now we can give armor. We're going to go ahead and give armor to our champion. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the purge. They're both dead already. I'm going to put him here because now I can kind of cheese this, where if I put 1 morsel here, he'll duplicate it to 2, technically taking me over my threshold for how many people can be there, which could be interesting. And we'll just go ahead and throw this guy down here. Final wave. So currently, I don't have to do anything. Technically, if I wanted just to go, I could be fine. The boss, it says the boss dies in this floor. That's what we want. So with that being said, I really don't have to play anything. I will play that. And we'll throw some damage on the boss. And then we're just going to end our turn. But again, I know ahead of time that this guy's going to die. My warrior is going to take 29 damage, but the boss is going to get killed, which means we'll get a bonus and we won't lose any points this turn because our tire at the top didn't take any damage, which is what we want. So this was actually a really good play out for us and worked really well. You'll see now, so now I got a bonus 3 boss turn rush because he died at the bottom floor. He didn't get to climb, so instead of losing score, I gained 30% bonus. I also get the trial bonus, and then I get the battle 1 bonus, and then I have all the rewards. Apply 2 rage and ember drain, deal 3 damage to a unit, 3x damage, which I don't really think we're going high energy, so I don't really know that that's going to be a thing. Triggering feast. I feel like Rage 2 for Ember Drain's not really great. There is an Ember Drain card that gives multi-strike for Ember Drain. I feel like that's like way more useful if I ever pull one of those. So this is 2x, but it's an AoE, so it blasts the entire field, which is also not a bad option. But I like the imps because there is a unit I know later down the road that if you have imps, they get really, really powerful really quickly. And that would be kind of cool. So here again, lifesteal is useless to us. This guy, gaining 5 armor a turn is not a bad thing, but being only 15 health, once they do get through, they're going to hit, it's going to hurt. This guy I like at a 50-50. He's just a pounder, right? He does cost 4 to bring out, though, so until I get more energy every turn, he's not easy to place. But he's an okay option. So here we have an option where we can duplicate a card, but I don't really have any card that's like super, like the closest thing I have would be the Quick Rager, and I don't know if he's what I would want to duplicate, versus the other option being to try to upgrade units, get a unit, and go to the caverns. Our crystal is hit, but getting your crystal health back to max doesn't improve your score at all, from my understanding and from what I know. So I'm more prone to go this way. Plus, going the Hellhorn unit, I know that I might see another copy of the one that would give based on imps. I don't, so I'm gonna skip because I already just took 2 of the big guys. I don't want 2 more. But hopefully I can upgrade my units to make them a little stronger with the shop here. So +1 blip, but it gives it more attack and defense. Nope, no thank you. Minor attack and health increase. But it's only 10 health. I mean, I'll put that on this one for now and just see how it helps. And then... So I could re-roll, but if I re-roll, I go down to under 90, which means even if I get a really solid effect here, I can't use it anyway. So I'm going to stop there and save my 125 and move on. Because I could end up worse off than I am now if I try to do that. So you pass the train graveyard. You notice several fallen allies. Within the beasts of gnarled steel lie now extinguished pyre shards. Even further inside the rubble, you can make out some last protected treasures. Perhaps if you were to reignite the pyre shards using some of your own, the trains would reveal their value. So I can lose 3 health to give a unit 25 health. Lose 6 health. Whenever your pyre kills a unit, you get 5 health back. Friendly units get 10 hearts and Heartless. Given the fact we already have Heartless, I didn't realize this was a thing, but this is actually very cool because we already have Heartless. Everyone's already Heartless. So this just gives my every creature in my deck now has 10 more hit points. That's actually pretty cool. I'm happy with that. I feel like that's a good, solid choice for that. Hope you guys are liking what you're seeing. Again, I haven't done this for many, many years. 3 years plus since the last time I've created something. I am going to try to get back into it. I'm going to try to be recording stuff. I may eventually turn back on a webcam. We'll see. But if you like what you see, toss me a subscribe and just come back and check it out. If you want to share it with your friends, it would be greatly appreciated. I have no clue what this channel is going to turn into, but I just felt like creating and doing something for myself. So here I am. And hopefully it's enjoyable and fun for you guys. Kind of setting up our bottom rows. Ideally, there's an alternative strategy where I could have went all in at the top here and tried to hit him. Because he's out and flying, if you kill the boss while he's in the air, you get a ton of bonus points. But at the same point, I want to go ahead and start stacking rage. Also, I don't know the full pattern yet, but usually when he's at the top, he can go down or over. So there was a chance he would have came all the way down and then I would have got a big hit. But having this guy here for 31 damage isn't a bad thing. So we want to let our Slayer get the kill because we want him to do the slay effect if we can. Is there a way we can make that happen? If I put the Morsel Master here, he'll swing for 10. Puts him down to 30. 5 puts him down to 25. He only hits for 22. So I can't actually get there. But we'll give it all we got. So unfortunately, I wanted my little imp to die. I didn't realize that because of the 10 extra hit points, he actually was able to take the hit just fine. If my little imp would have died, we would have got some better damage because I could have played a morsel on that turn. But that's okay. He will definitely die this turn. And because we can, we're going to go ahead and get our big guy up top for sure. Because now we have 50 damage in the top row, we've got good damage in the middle row, our bottom row is pretty locked in place. And growing stronger with rage, which is good. That takes care of that. Sure. And let's give him more damage. And then, so now is a great opportunity where I can trigger Feast, which means he'll get the damage now, and then I can also place this one, which will then get duplicated again and give him more health. Which again, the more strength I can give that person, the better. And we'll go ahead and shield this guy. Alright, so now we're on the final wave. So once I end my turn, this round will continue to either we're dead or he's dead. And then, so all I did was make it to where my guy's going to get 2 damage shield. That's enough. And you see now he's got the kill symbol, which means he dies at the end of this turn. Which means I'll get a bonus. It won't be as good of a bonus if I had killed him before the final wave started, but there is a bonus there, which is good in terms of our total score, so we'll take it. So down goes the boss. And you'll notice at the end when I show you some of the other scores and what they did, you'll notice that they kill these guys while they're in the air, and the faster you kill them, the more bonus you get. So the ones that really plan that out way more strategical than I do are out of there on turn 2 usually and win. But that's okay. We're going to grab the Wretches, which brings back the morsels that we already played, so we can keep playing them. So we got another Slayer, we got the Gorge Lifesteal, which we don't want, we got the Strike, so we really, none of these are going to help us at this point, adding them to the deck, so we're going to let them pass. We're going to give ourselves the more energy, so we can very more easily play our 50-50 guy, because he takes 4, so right now the only way I can play him is if I had the extra morsel that gives me an extra energy. This way I can always play him if I want him to be my one card that I play. So here we have 2 choices. We can go thin our deck with 2 cards, upgrade our spells, heal our pyre, or again, I'm going to go this way because I get 75 coin, I get a guaranteed artifact, which is give our pyre more attack. We're going to do that. Because we also have the first artifact, which means when they hit the artifact room, they get dazed. But I wonder if it's each time they enter we lose 5 attack on our pyre, or if it's just 5 attack in general. We'll see if anything else gets to the top of there, because I'm curious if if our pyre keeps getting weaker and weaker. I haven't tested that yet. So this, again, alloy constructs, very interesting, right? Inert, multi-strike. Multi-strike in this game is like the key. Multi-strike's great. However, in order for him to even a swing, he has to have fuel. To give him fuel, he has to eat. For him to eat, he has to be in the front. Because this mode is doing musical chairs and every turn the units are shuffling, that's terrible. It's so hard to predictably keep them in the front to give them the buff they need. This would be almost a dead card in the deck. This is the other morsel maker I was telling you about. This is similar to the morsel maker we already have. The difference is he costs 2 to bring out, only takes up 1 blip, but he makes 2 morsels every turn. And those 2 morsels are ones that give HP and they give attack. So they're good morsels to create. There is a method where I place him and the other one in the same row, which is what I'm going to try. Because then when it creates the 2, it'll duplicate them to 4. But I think what's going to happen is I don't think that's going to work the way I want it to, because it's going to tell me that I capped out on slots, like the number of people. So here I can have a choice. So I can get Trample, which means he'll be if he kills an enemy with his first hit of 45, it'll keep going through and hit everything else, which I really, really, really like Trample. Or I can do this method and he'll get an extra blip. if I take trample, which I'm going to, the downside of that is that I'm going to go up on blips, which means I need to think about in my next boss upgrade adding more blips to my rows. Because now, even though he's adding 2 blips to his own row, he now costs more to do this. So this one we're doing Heavenly Seal. Non-boss units, so if we don't kill the unit on the floor they come in, when they go up to the next floor, they heal back to full life. So pretty much if you don't kill the unit, it heals back to max life. So you really have to be able to kill them in a one-shot, or prepare to kill them in a one-shot on the next floor. And because there are some armored units on their side, it can get a little difficult. So we're gonna place our big dude, and so again, this is the interesting combo. So we have our big dude, right? And now we're gonna place the Morsel Maker and the Morsel Master. So in theory, the Morsel Maker is going to create 2 units. The Morsel Master is going to duplicate those 2 units. There should be 4 morsels for it to be eaten, which gives me exactly 7 units, which is the max. So I can't. So even if I wanted to, I can't place anything else on that lane because it's going to exceed the max, and it won't summon it if it exceeds the max. And then we'll throw this out because it's 3 damage. Yeah, so there are the 4 morsels, and again, you saw that they all got consumed. And then we're going to go ahead and do the same thing at the top row. Because it's going to kill this, and I want the bonus gold. He'll get up there, and we'll hopefully have enough to deal with him then. I don't think we have anything consumed. Yeah, we didn't have anything consumed, so we couldn't do that. We'll go ahead and throw an armor on him. And we'll throw... So once again, they're going to duplicate. But it won't be 7. We'll see. Because that means we have 4 units, which means it's not enough for what it's supposed to do. But in theory, they should eat first, which they did. Okay, so they always eat first, and then they create. And then everything gets shuffled. Okay. So we've got a morsel army now. We're going to go ahead and put down a big truck here. We're going to put down our dude behind them. And they're good to go. Now we don't have enough damage up here to kill, which is not ideal. So again, because of the effect that we added from the bonus, when he goes to the pyre, he's going to be at full health. But it does mean I get to test now with the daze. Each time it dazes, we lose 5 attack on the pyre, or how does that work? So it doesn't look like we lost any attack. So I think you start off 5 less, and then you're good. Which is actually pretty cool. So all of our rows are full. We can't really play anything until we draw the increased row effect. So we're actually done. I mean, we can go ahead and play this to generate one, but we can't place it anywhere. Because this floor is maxed out. This floor technically is above capacity. That's what the orange blip means. This floor is 3 above capacity, so like we really don't have anywhere we can place. So we're kind of just gonna let it do its thing. So we got all these units, and they're buffing things, right? But the problem is we're not really gaining a ton of damage from those buffs, unfortunately. So we're doing 28. There's 30. Great, so he'll die now. We're gonna go ahead and throw armor on our dude, which is fine. So we put a 50 armor unit in front. But it says he's going to die, so we win. That's over. He's at 34. We need to do 1 point of damage to him. He's taken care of. And that's it. So now the pirate took no damage, and the boss died first turn. He could have died, so we'll get the full bonus. And that could not have gone better for us. Because technically, there's no way I could have killed the boss until he showed up. So that was pretty much exactly what we wanted to have happen. It was a weird way of doing it. Like having to have these guys buff each other for the entire duration of the game was weird. But it definitely worked out for us, which was good. We'll take it. So we got our base win, we got our bonus for killing them on the bottom floor, we got our trial rush for taking the hard mode, and then we get 50 gold, we get another artifact. Each time you summon your first mercy, we draw a card. Extra card draw is never a bad thing, we'll take it. So we're going to take Crucible Extension, because there were turns there where we couldn't play anything. Crucible Extension is a way we can continuously increase the blips on a row, which I think will be good. We're not adding a bunch of armor, we're not adding really Inflame. Imp in a box isn't a bad thing, but given the fact we don't have the Imp 100 damage troop, I don't really see the value of that, so I'm going to skip it. Just because I think it's going to add to clutter and more units. I'm already having enough trouble with just morsel management. I don't really want to add a lot more imp management to that. So we can buy an artifact, get a free artifact, cave, upgrade spells, heal our pyre, get gold. I'm probably not gonna buy an artifact unless there's something really good there, but I am gonna go that route. I am going to grab the Winged Steel. Again, I don't want it placing a minor formula on every floor because I feel like that's really going to mess up what I'm trying to plan to do. So I don't really want to do that, but we will go Winged Steel because, again, having more draw power, never a bad thing. Demon units gain multi-strike. That means my Branded Warriors and my Demon Fiends get multi-strike, you're telling me. Yes, please. That sounds amazing. Giving morsel units damage shield also sounds really good. So now at this point we're 5 in. We know we have 3 more stages to go. The question becomes, do we keep buying to win, or do we start saving our gold for the bonus at the end, right? At a certain point, you have to stop spending gold to save to try to get your score up. Giving morsels damage shield doesn't sound terrible because of the shuffle effect, but at the same point, I feel like we're okay without it, so we're going to leave that. We're definitely taking the multi-strike on demons. That's amazing. That's fantastic. That's such a good card. Or a good artifact. I can lose health to gain gold. Again, as far as I understand, our higher health at the end doesn't give us more score. The gold does. So we're going to take away 25 health, and we're going to give ourselves the gold. But it also puts me in a situation where I'm much more likely to take a hit and lose if something big gets up there and whacks my pyre. So I got to be more careful. Non-boss unit gets +6 attack for 150 extra gold. Again, pretty much in the daily runs, if there's a bonus, I'm sure there will be certain daily runs where you don't want to put a bonus on, but if you're trying to get score, you kind of got to keep those bonus runs on. Interesting. So I think what we do is we Umbra Assault. But if we Umbra Assault, we can't actually play the multi-striker. If I put this here, I'm pretty much devoting them to that bottom row by themselves. They will probably eventually die. But it will control that lane for a couple of turns just fine. Any of these have attack? That only has 2 attack. Well, there we go. Armor up our dude. So again, that was the trample effect pushing through. Oh no, that was multi-strike. Never mind, not trample. Sorry about that. So let's get more blips on this floor, and that way we can place the Morsel Maker. The Morsel Maker will break the blip rule and still give me 2 more things to start buffing people, which we will enjoy. So again, this guy's actually a healer. He just heals a unit for 10. He doesn't actually get to swing for any damage. So my little 2 damage morsel is going to kill that guy. And take no damage while doing it, which is cool. We can actually save ourselves 12 damage by just nuking that guy out beforehand, which we will do. And now we have our quick guy, which we're going to put back here so he doesn't take damage, but he'll get to swing and do a bunch of damage to their side. We have morsels we could create, but we don't have anywhere we can place them, so we're not going to waste the time. We're just going to move on. Because of the armor. I see. Only taking 11, that's fine. We can trigger Feast early here. Buff our dude. He's gonna die, that's great. Let's upgrade our bottom floor. Give ourselves some meeples. We'll give some more hearts to that guy. Dude, the multi-strike on demons, that's so cool. That's amazing. So he's only taking 300 damage. Not what we want. And we don't really have an answer to deal with that, so we're just going to have to be okay with that. And again, it's because he sweeps. If you notice, he's sweeping through, which means he's going to kill my meeples before I get to him. He's going to kill my maker before he gets to him. He's going to one-tap my demon. If there's any way I could add health to my demon, that would be ideal. What we are going to do is we're going to play units because we get to draw once we play. And we're going to try playing them. So it's when we play 3 cards. So we want to play our cheapest card. So that's 1. That's 2. And that's 3. So now we can give him armor. Which doesn't change anything, unfortunately. He also has lifesteal 10. Ugh. It's only the first time. Yeah, whenever you do it for the turn. Okay. We'll go in and get that there because we're going to start prepping this guy to be as strong as he can. And we'll throw 5 damage on him. He's just going to heal it, unfortunately. So again, I'm not worried that he's going to make it to the top. I'm hoping we can take him out before then. My unfortunate concern is that he is going to take out a lot of people before we get there. But that's okay. Ooh, that's really good. Yeah, and now he dies. That was a solid draw right there. And now our multi-strike and demon with 50 health will finish this up for us. So again, that could have gone a little better. I think placing the bottom row and locking myself into it a little early is what cost me that extra turn. But again, we got a 2-turn rush, which is good. I'm not really going to complain about that. Emberforge, not really. We don't really need more early feeding. Sacrificing. No, I'm going to skip all that. I think it's just going to clutter the deck up too much. Immolate, we don't have a bunch of imps. Adding Rage 3 is not a bad thing, because it'll add 6 attack when you first play it for 0. But again, at this point, my deck's 34 cards, so I really want to add 2 of them to the deck. And the answer is probably not. But I'm going to do it anyway, because if I can throw it on my demon, my multi-striking demons with extra rage means more damage. You'll notice when we get to the end that a lot of the people that are really, really good and get higher scores are the ones that really strategically know when and when not to pull to take cards. They keep their decks very thin. It's a very strong thing. So we're gonna go this way and we're gonna pick up our coins. We're gonna go ahead and thin our deck out because it's getting a little too big at this point. The things that really aren't working for me is I really don't think the damage from the imps are gonna help anymore. So we're gonna drop these imps out. We're gonna do duplicate a card. I think in terms of duplicating, we're gonna duplicate one of the quick brand warrior, because he swings first, and if I can get him killing things, it buffs the entire row. Now we have 2 of those. So 869 people died either on this floor or before this floor. And that's partially because this boss in particular has so much hit points that it's really hard to deal with. And you'll see that here in a second. Now he is flying outside. Also his units have multi-strike, which is also not good. So he's got 1,300 hit points we have to deal with. So we have our quick rager. The question is, can I get him to kill something or not? The answer's probably going to be a not. So we're going to throw him up here so we go ahead and breaks that immediately and get ahead of that. We have 3 of these guys. We can't really place them anywhere. Forgot about the stupid incant. I forget about that incant thing a lot. Buff that guy up a little bit. So unfortunately, again, we're not getting a lot of damage on the boss early, which is not what you want, but we're doing the best we can. We'll give him more damage. Go ahead and make that one go away completely. Okay. So nothing's getting to the pyre yet. We now have a method to clear the middle row. And we're effectively now cleaning the bottom row on first turn. Again, the problem with this stage is that the mobs have so much health, the boss has so much health, there's a lot to deal with. In terms of adding a blip, we hit the boss finally. Way too late, but we hit the boss. Again, I don't think we'll lose on this round. We might. A lot of people died on this round. But I also don't feel like we're dramatically ahead of where we want to be either, so. feel like that was good. Gave him a bunch of extra health. I'm gonna go ahead and just nuke the boss for 4 damage. Why not? I'm not gonna place the Heartless Soldier. I don't feel like he adds anything to that. He just slows down, makes me have less options in the lane. He's not what we want to play there. I will place one of those. And it took me a long time to draw that dude. There's some damage. Again, nowhere near the amount of damage we need to be seeing right now. And we're gonna be an hour up. So there's no way he dies in final wave. We're not dealing, we don't have the damage there yet, but that's okay. See if we can't buy a turn for these guys so they can do some more damage. Eat my 6 damage. We'll throw a damage shield up here because that's never bad. Again, still 700 health. So you can see how very quickly this can steamroll out of control for you. We're going to do some decoys in the front. We're going to make this one decoy last a little longer. And now he's dead. Now the boss is dead. So again, turn 2 kill. Not bad in the grand scheme of things. It's not the worst it could have been. But again, the people that are going to be ahead of me on score, you'll see at the end here, are those that dropped him while he was still flying before he got to the final phase. And that's kind of what you have to do if you're really trying to push for the highest score. Two-turn boss rush, 100 gold, 1700. Okay. So now here again, so these ones here, apply trample, apply multi-strike. The adding multi-strike's really, really awesome, but it costs to do that. I think I'm still gonna do it because again, I think adding multi-strike's just worth it. In which case, I'm not gonna go blitz. I'm gonna go more energy because I want to be able to cast that when I can. Because can you imagine, once I have that, if I can get one of my Slayers up to even higher, then they can start dealing more damage, which is getting everyone Slay, which it can start steamrolling. And we might need it going into the final boss. So thin the deck, heal the pyre, get magic. Again, I'm going to go this way. Let's see what the cavern is. The caverns are interesting to me because they're a gamble, right? You don't know if they're going to be good. They could be bad. They could be average. They're never like horrible, but there are some that are like, are you gonna be willing to take the hit? Make a unit 1 blip. Give a unit plus 2 blips and 30 attack. Can I upgrade? That would be, but it's gonna make them very high. It gives them 70 health. I'm gonna do that. Because now that one's quick, so he swings first, and if he kills, the other things on that lane are going to get more. Final champion upgrade, we can still do 2 blips, give him 85 attack and 60 health, or add another blip. I'm going to add another blip at this point and not make him cost more, because I think his attack's as high as it needs to be. I have not collected. No, don't leave. Oh, I can do the upgrades. Okay. Endless, 25 health with Rage 2 or Rage 7. For 20 gold, I'll give him Rage 7. And then more health. Not really. Giving a unit endless. So I'm going to re-roll here. Again, I'm looking for multi-strike. If I got a multi-strike, I would definitely take the gold to spend that for more security. But nothing else here is like screaming that this you need to have. My Slayers are upgraded as much as they can be. I mean, giving these guys some attack just so they can always be swinging and helping the team. We'll do that, and that'll be our final upgrade. Spell Shield 2, which is fine. We get a huge amount of gold for that. We get 400 gold, but again, we're not casting spells for damage, so Spell Shield doesn't impact us. It does stop us from killing the little, like, if there are any like really weak units with spells. But again, our strategy right now is not based on doing spells, so we're fine. So we have an opportunity where we could place our dude and give him trample. But I can also throw out this guy and start stacking rage. Which I'm going to do that. Don't really want the trained stewards, so I'm not really going to focus on that. I'll throw him up here and enter turn. Alright, there was draws. So I may have just, if I lose this, it's 100% going to be because I didn't look at what just went away. Which doesn't like it was anything crazy, but I definitely just threw cards away there. We're going to purge that. He's going to kill that for the gold because at this point we want the gold for score more than anything. We're going to upgrade this lane because we won't be able to place a meeple there. We're going to pierce. Okay, so again. Oh, really? So pierce goes through even spell shield. That's fascinating. Give them some more health points. And we'll buff our dude at the top. I could, if I get one with the attack, sure. It's interesting that the meeples don't, I'm sorry, they're not called meeples, they're called morsels. It's interesting that the morsels don't eat themselves. Yes. Again, that's just gonna take a spell shield, but that's fine. The goal is this bottom row is doing really good, and now we have a way to generate fodder down there that can be a distraction, which is good. But as you can see, the issue you run into at this point is the health of these guys are just so high. And then you go back here. Just to give him some more HP. So now, again, so we have choices here, but the key is this guy's gonna die, right? And I can give my game-winning demon, I can give him a third multi-strike down here, which is insane. And that's what we're going to do. We can also get some meeples back. Put those here. We can give this guy. So the question is, do we have damage shield? Giving this guy damage shield seems like a fun idea to me. Just so he doesn't take the 7 damage. And there we go. Alright, so we're going in with a completely empty train. Final boss is coming in. Our bottom row is as strong as it really can be. This guy's got a ton of health. We're taking 900 of it away, so we're not going to kill him. Or we might, actually. Yeah, he's dead. Again, that's why the adding multi-strike is such a clinch thing. Like, how can you not? That's 200 damage every time he gets a swing. Rage! And now we got our 3-turn rush, we got our score, and we got our big chunk of extra gold, which is great. 3 activated cards. Now I'm okay with that. I'm not going to make the deck any bigger than it already is. The deck is big enough, believe me. Once again, I'm going to leave the deck as is. I think I am going to look for spell upgrades in this final upgrade path to see if I can't upgrade the cost. So thin the deck cost, gold, artifacts, duplicate any card, upgrade units, heal pyre. I'm going to go this way. We're going to thin the deck out. We're going to drop the 2 fireballs. Or 2 of the torches. We're going to upgrade spells. We're looking for a -1 cost. We want a -1 cost the tomes. I think they're consumes. Reroll. Interesting. So now this one we can continue to use over and over. So that's now a permanent +1 multi-strike card in the deck. And that's a cheaper one that we can use. Alright, so we spent a little more gold than I wanted to there, but I felt like that was worth it because that's going to make those getting play much faster, which is great. Giving friendly units +3 rage. +3 gets +2 attack on each time they kill. I'll give them the 200 gold for the initial rage. And this is the final fight. So this is the final boss. So his main power is that for every spell we cast the first time gets consumed, which means even my non-consumable multi-strike might get consumed if I can't play another 1-cost spell before it, but we'll do the best we can. But this is the final boss. And again, it's another one that flies out of the side. And apparently it puts a bunch of bad stuff in my deck, which is not okay. So we have 25 x2, 70 damage. We're getting the rage rolling. We gotta get rid of the bad card. So we could put multi-strike on our main guy. Or on our demon. I'm gonna do it to the demon because he can keep growing and growing the rest of the field. Unfortunately, we drew into our extra multi-strike, which we can't play right now. That's very unfortunate, but... Also, all those units making it that high, also not what you want. But that's okay. Again, they get dazed and they hit the pyre. The pyre is going to insta-shot that whole field, so we're not really worried about that. I will go ahead and set up one of these guys here. I'll pierce you just because I don't know what you... Sure, let's send an extra one there. There's all the rage going through again. So they all got dazed, they all got insta-killed, we didn't take any damage there. We don't lose any score for that, which is the only reason I let that happen. Otherwise, I would have had to have gotten involved with that step. Oh, I could have played him. Whoops. They have so many health, man. It's when you start whacking through their health, it's just insane to think like just how much health you're whacking through. He gets stronger. Upgrade your meeple's potential. I gotta be careful because if I get the one that with the damage shield, like really that should be the one that I'm playing. Like giving things damage shield is kind of the greatest thing I can do. But I need to be looking for those opportunities. So my guy's down to 16 health, so if he gets a bad shuffle to the front, it's going to be really bad to lose him this close to the end. That's perfect. Again, we're looking for damage shield if we can find it. We didn't land on damage shield there. That's okay. Our big guy's also getting really low, so unfortunately we've got a lot of damage potential in the bottom row, but the shuffling is going to determine so much of it because they are very hurt at this point, unfortunately. So everywhere's full. There's nothing we can do here. So it looks like we're going to kill this unit. He's going to take 500 damage. That's really not a lot of damage for how much hit points he has. And he's doing 30 damage a swing, which is really going to be a problem. And I don't know if we're going to have the damage to kill him. So we may end up losing this final row, unfortunately. But I can't do anything this turn to fix it. So we're going to look at what our options are next turn. Unfortunately, this turn we just don't have it. Yeah, again, the 10 times 3 multi-strike's just so much damage that he can eat through your field so fast. Alright, so we're looking for a damage shield meeple. No. So they can be decoy meeples. He's taking 400 damage there again. Not even half of his thing. Very unfortunate. Boom. Boom. We did get some damage there, which is good. We'll take that. That's a terrible final hand. And he's again. So I'm pretty sure we just died here because he's gonna hit the pillar. I don't know if bosses can be dazed. Even if he does get dazed, we only get 40, 50 damage. Now he's got 600 health left, and he's dealing 30 back. Yeah. So unfortunately, we made it all the way to the end. I think the issue we ran into is that we accidentally drew into our other multi-strike and didn't get it in play fast enough, and we didn't get enough hit point based survival at the bottom and got unlucky with the shuffles, which I feel like it's weird with this one because like it's not RNG, but at the same point shuffles make it weird. Every daily challenge I've done with shuffles have just been weird overall in terms of strategy. Now, so this is what the run summary looks like. So we get to see your score, you get to see if you get your bonus on or off, you get to see how quickly they did it, which is in terms of the turn rush bonus, and the cards in your deck. So this is what our deck looked like. If you want to take a moment and take a screenshot, I'll quickly hover over everything that was in our deck so you can kind of get an idea of what we ended up with. Honestly, I probably should have found time somewhere in the run to ditch the trained stewards. Like every time we were drawing a trained steward, we weren't playing them and they were kind of just dead cards in the hand. So keeping on to them as long as we did was probably a big mistake, and we probably should have ditched them way faster. This is the first time I played with Gerd's Gourd, the giving all demons multi-strike. That's super awesome in terms of an artifact, and it was definitely a fun run. So we made about 3,700 with a loss. So let's go take a look at, to end the video, we're going to take a look at one of the top runs. So now that you have finished it, now you're allowed to see the run summary of who the top person is. And you'll notice in a lot of them that their decks will be a lot smaller, and you kind of see what they went with. So here, he ended up getting different artifacts than we did. He picked up the, every time the pirate kills the guys, he got HP back. He went with plus blips on every floor. He got the armor, which is fine. He got the winged steel, the gourd, and he picked up the give him rage, and he picked up lifesteal. Again, I think he had to take this. I don't know if he paid for it, because again, lifesteal doesn't work with the effect, but he did grab it either way. So he had the multi-strike that we had. He took the damage trove, blazing bolts. So I'm surprising with how many cards he has still that his score was so high. Let's see if there's anything uniquely in here that's like, oh my god. Okay, so somewhere along the way, he found a multi-strike on one of the vendors. So his major demon already had multi-strike. Then he had the multi-strike from the artifact. So it was already, right? Is that what I'm seeing here? Let me just make sure. Yeah, okay, cool. So his demons were already 80 times 3, and he had 2 of them like that. That was his keys. He found a way to get those quickly. He boosted their, he gave them the major refraction, and he gave them the frenzy stone that he found. The frenzy stone being the clinch, because that meant they walked in at 80 times 3 before stacking any rage, which is good. And you will see here, so you'll notice that on the bosses, 8 turn rush means he killed that boss in the air. I believe would be 5 turns before it would have went to final phase. Here again, he killed it 6 turns before it would have went to final phase, and here he killed it. So the highest score usually when you're looking to see what, and he used all of his gold to do this, usually the person with the highest score, it's because of the boss turn rush. Like that's the biggest difference in the scores. It's usually the second and third boss. It's how quickly you can murder that boss. That point, the 7 turn, 9 turn boss rush is so much points. Let's go look at another one. I just want to see what if everyone ended up with that same similar strategy. So that was the top one for the day, which was Parniza 27. We're gonna check out this one. All right, and I'm assuming this person had somewhat of the same. So he was closer to what we were running. He went all blips, which is interesting, and went for the 100 damage, 40 hit points, which is kind of cool. He had a fully upgraded Steelworker, which is interesting. I don't know where the damage came from then. So maybe he was overly stacking the Shield Worker and then battering ramming for victory. He had Trample. Huh. He was stacking rages up for sure. So he was growing rage and then blasting off based on a shield. It's interesting. I don't know where like the big quick. Usually when I look at some of this, it's because when a deck like this wins, I don't understand it. It means I'm missing a mechanic. More than likely, one of these cards Probably this one being a holdover and gain, but I don't see anything that's just drawing besides his artifact. Usually when a deck like this is the top, it means they have a way to keep it, it keeps moving, right? It never, the turn doesn't end because it has a lot of free cards. But interesting. I've never used Battering Ram yet, and maybe Battering Ram does way more than I think it does. Because the armor on all units, this is to the front enemy unit, and it's 4x for 3. Interesting. I'm surprised. I'm glad he won. It's or second place. It's interesting. He didn't get a lot of extra turn rushes. He didn't end with a bunch of extra gold. Interesting. It definitely was a harder run. I'm gonna look at one more. Because again, this is the part that I enjoy afterwards, is learning based on the different ways people won. So here's what I'm talking about, like a min-maxer, right? So this person went very quickly into a, I'm going to keep my deck thin to as little as possible. So he had his unit that I'm assuming it bugged somehow and didn't record properly because his unit's not upgraded. I don't think there's an option to not upgrade him, or maybe that is an upgrade. Maybe that is if you go the full gorge route. I'm not sure. That's weird. So we got the tome double stack. So every time you played the tome, it was giving multi-strike 2 and it wasn't getting consumed. That's a really cool thing to do. And because his deck was so low, he was drawing it repeatedly. He went the Rager that was giving rage to the units. He had repeatable horn breaks. So I think that I know that they'll be working on it if it is. This doesn't seem legit to me, and I could be wrong, but I don't see how he would have kept this moving. The deck's very thin. The tomb was definitely the right call, but even if you're stacking that on your warrior, right? Like you're putting all your bets on your warrior, and you're giving him multi-strike, or you're putting your bets on I don't know. This is weird. I don't know. I saw one yesterday that made me realize that there were non-legitimate runs. That to me looks like a weird run. Like it just doesn't feel the way it should. I'm not seeing when I look at his deck the path he took for victory, basically is what I'm saying. But again, so these scores usually are higher on most days, so it tells me that it was definitely a rough day. Yeah, the double stack consume. Or no, the double stack and then taking away consume was probably the one that I saw that was most interesting in terms of a way of winning. So we went the warrior. So again, another person that went the steelworker and then was trying to tie those into the tomes and the battering rams, which is interesting. Cool. All right. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it. Again, the fact that I can even do that, the fact that I can look at that, and as I get more friends, the fact that I can compare my daily runs with my friends when they do them, I love that. There's also other multiplayer modes. We didn't get to talk about it. I may make another video and try one a different day. But there's Hell Rush, which is just a speed-based one, which I'll make another video on a different morning, which is really fun. And there are custom challenges where you can kind of build your own rule set and then challenge your friends and kind of go through it and see your top scores, which is also really cool. You create a share code. That if I do a live stream of the game, I'll probably do one of those if I can gain any type of following and get some friends that have the game that want to try running that. That'll be great. But this is Monster Train. It's an amazing game. It's my favorite deck builder in years, compared to Slay the Spire. I have a few other new ones that I'm trying, that I'm still tinkering with, that I really haven't finished, but we'll see how they play out. But this Monster Train is amazing. I highly recommend it, and it's my first video back in 3 years. So if you found this video and you like what you see, toss me a subscribe. I will be posting more content. If my mic went out anywhere in the video or got turned to crap, definitely let me know. And just thanks for watching, giving me a chance. Have a great day.